Near mint condition, the home of collected editions.
That cover's so awesome.
Absolute format is the best way to own this store. Time to empty those wallets and fill those shelves. How's it going, all you minties? Uncanny Omar here from Near Mint Condition, the home of collected editions. And join me today for my overview of the Complete Invincible Library Volume 4 from Image Comics. So let's go ahead and get started. And welcome back, everybody. Now, this video is because of you all making me aware when I made my overview video of the Complete Invincible Library Volume 1, the new printing, that you all made me aware that there was a Volume 4 that came out in 2023. So, here is my overview. Plus, it gets me a chance to revisit probably my favorite story out of all of Invincible. So again, this is the Complete Invincible Library Volume 4. This is what the back of the slipcase looks like. And the back of the book. Again, the lettering all reversed because you see it from this angle. And here is Mark and Oliver right there. And of course, comes in a slipcase where we have Thrag on this side. And the logo, Nolan and Alan on this side. And of course, Invincible written in the background. Both pieces drawn by Ryan Ottley. Now, the contents of this book have been previously collected before in trade paperbacks and of course in single issues. And the format that I loved collecting them in, the Ultimate Collections. And I've done an overview of all of the Ultimate Collections. But today I am going to focus on this book right here. So practically all of this fits in here. So we're going to crack this book open, check out the artwork, and talk about what's collected in here, and look at the extras, and of course the build of the book. When I get to the spoilers section, I will let you know. Alright, let's go ahead and crack this Complete Invincible Library Volume 4 opened. We have some green end sheets right here. The title page, The Complete Invincible Library Volume 4, created by Robert Kirkman and Cory Walker, who makes a return to this particular series during this volume. Over here you have all of it written by Robert Kirkman, Ryan Ottley supplying the majority of the pencils in here and the inks, Cory Walker coming back as penciler and inker for a couple of issues. You have Cliff Rathburn doing the majority of the inks when it's not Ryan or Cory working on their books. Co Placencia doing the colors with Nikos Kustis and John Ranch. And then the color assistants, and Russ Wooten doing the main lettering. Ryan Ottley and Dave McCraig doing the slipcase and collection covers. So here we kick it off with issue number 71. So we have issues 71 through 96 of Invincible collected in here. The whole book collects 664 pages of Invincible. So Mark has found himself back on Earth, and there has been some changes going on in his big fight against the Viltrumite Empire. So much so that the majority of this overview has to be completely spoilers, and I'll let you know when I'm about to get there. But I did want to showcase the phenomenal artwork through these pages first, and just kind of give you an idea as to what is the type of story that you're going to find in here, because it is one long storyline. It features both Alan and Nolan as they're going around from the previous volume, and still pretty much trying to recruit members that will help fight against the Viltrumite Empire. So they're taking them back to the coalition of planets to stand up against the Viltrumites. And one of these characters is named Zach. This is a character that had his own series, and it didn't do that well, but it was written by Robert Kirkman, and that is Tech Jacket. Some of you may remember. It's not collected in the Invincible Companion. Maybe one day it'll be collected in a library edition. It would be really cool to see the entire collection of all these characters that make appearances through here, like the Astonishing Wolfman, or what's that? The Astounding Wolfman, to be put into one of these library collections. So they're going around and recruiting members, not just from other planets, but also from Earth. Now, there are major reunions that take place, and not just between Mark and his brother Oliver, but other folks here on Earth. Now, that's pretty much all I'll say about this particular volume, but I am going to show you some of the artwork through here. The art that I can show you that isn't going into deep spoilers, while showcasing some of the artwork here by the return of Cory Walker. He does a couple of issues by himself, and then he does some of the chapters later on, working together with Ryan Ottley. But I do love how the colors just bring everything together. And oh my gosh, the colors. The colors. And usually when I think of colors in Invincible, I hate to say this, I think of the blood and just how gory and amazing and beautiful it looks. Damn, I love comics. And I say that as I'm looking through a violent page, but it's just the truth. Alright, let's look at the extras and we'll look at the spoilers that I wanted to talk about. Here we have the back matter, the beginning of the sketchbook here, and it's really cool because both Ryan Ottley and Cory Walker share a lot of their pencils or commissions that they've done in conventions, so you might see some crossovers, some things that have never really happened in the book. And when I mean crossover, sometimes there's other characters from Image Comics, and sometimes they slide in other characters from other publishers. The concept artwork here, the original pencils, again, the different commission pieces they've done, character designs that they've done throughout the book for the different characters, redesigns of costumes, the design of the dust jacket for the Ultimate Collection, and more concept sketches and original art, layouts, and all of it, of course, in black and white. And then you have this right here. This is the script to Invincible 75. And then you have the covers to the trade paperbacks, which is 4 of them. And you have the covers to the Ultimate Collections, which of course there are 2 of those. And then where else you can find Invincible? And your end sheets. 664 pages. It is sewn binding. Let's talk about the paper stock here. So the way that it lays over, there's really no gutter loss. The paper stock is very similar to the reprint of Volume 1, meaning that there is some bleed through happening when it's either light colors or white pages like this. Some bleed through whenever there's light colors or white pages like this. You can see some of the frames coming from the opposite side. It's not as thick as the Spawn library editions or the library editions from Rick Remender's Image books, but it's just the same as Volume 1. Alright, now, spoilers. Now, you're going to have to forgive me because if you're familiar with my channel, I like to talk a lot. And this is my favorite Invincible storyline. The Viltrumite War has been building up to the moments captured in this book. And we're not even done with Invincible. It still goes on after this. Alright, so what's happened? I said that Mark is back here on Earth. He's reconciling this relationship he has with Adam Eve. She's on the phone with him. And both Alan and Nolan are recruiting team members for the Coalition of Planets. And one of them, of course, Tech Jacket. Oliver and Mark are reunited, and Oliver kind of feels like the brother that nobody wants. His father didn't want him. But the biggest reunion that happens is between Nolan and Debbie. And there is a lot of heartache that happens through here. Oh my gosh, I thought it was done so well. You know, not a lot of dialogue and just a lot of the reactions in their faces and how sorry he is. But how can you apologize to somebody that saw all of the evil in you? How can she even learn to forgive him? And I thought it was a beautiful moment between them. So, of course, Nolan and Mark know the Viltrumite fight is coming. They're going to have to go out into space. And Mark is like, hey, Oliver, you're going to have to stay here. There's no way we can take you. You're not ready for the fight. But Nolan feels like he's going to be handy in this fight. So he invites Oliver along with them. And Oliver, of course, sees this as a moment of, oh, my father wants to actually do something with me. So hell yes, I'm going. Because he's aged up some, right? Because they age differently because of the alien race that he's a hybrid with. They have a beautiful moment here between Mark and Adam Eve where she realizes he has to leave and they want to hold each other until he has to. So the spaceship, this giant spaceship that brought everybody to Earth to recruit all of these members, ended up with Tech Jacket, gets attacked by none other than the Viltrumites. None other than Conquest. So he makes a return. And it is revealed that he didn't die, obviously, and he's got this big metallic arm. Seems like Cecil was behind all that, so Mark finds out, and he's like, oh, when I get a hold of him. And of course, Conquest is like, what do you mean? You're not going to survive this. As a matter of fact, I'm going to kill everybody around you so you can watch them all die, and then I'm going to kill you last. This becomes really interesting because, as we know, some of these characters like Alan and Tech Jacket can survive out in space, but characters like Oliver don't really know how to hold their breath that well. So some of the characters end up dying out there, and this gets really badass. There are some freaking moments here where the Viltrumites are just getting destroyed left and right, and Nolan notices just how well Oliver's doing in this fight. However, like I mentioned, Oliver's still new to all this. He can't hold his breath. He's running out of air, so Nolan tells him, go down to the nearest planet and just chill there for a minute and then come up here and fight. Conquest sees this and goes after him. And this is when we get to see Mark completely cut loose and show just how powerful he is. Because remember when they first fought, Conquest just completely destroyed Mark. This time around, he realizes that he might not be able to beat him, break his neck or anything like that, knock his head off, but he might be able to choke him to death. And this is because he's driven like that when he saw Conquest go after his little brother. I thought that was such a powerful moment. And this right here, where he's choking the life out of Conquest, while Conquest is just knocking the crap out of him. I mean, he is just shifting ribs and backbones back there, eventually just ripping a hole through him, and Mark is still not willing to let go. Damn, that's such a badass moment. And when I meant colors, I meant, look at that, the colors. They get into this huge fight, and eventually Mark ends up killing Conquest with his guts spilling out. This is where Nolan and Oliver come to save him. Everybody thinks, oh man, Nolan and Oliver and Mark are dead. What are we going to do? We're doomed. So, of course, Thaddeus, yeah, who is the leader of this coalition, saying, no, we can't give up. We still have something. And he keeps looking at this little liquid that he keeps inside of this little glass beaker, perhaps. Oh, we have the return of Battle Beast, who apparently didn't die. He survived. He was just frozen. And this little vial right here will come into play later on. So, as it turns out, Mark is healing. You have his brother and his dad just kind of get a little bit reunited. We have other players that show up here, like the space racer right there. Then Thaddeus, who of course was once a Viltrumite leader, realizes that even without Mark, even without Nolan and Oliver, they have to take the fight to the Viltrumites. What he doesn't know is that he has a traitor that is talking to Thrag, letting him know everything. So the fight is actually coming here to the coalition of planets. And this is such a badass moment, just when a bunch of the Viltrumites come here and attack all these characters. Zack is hooking up with chicks, alien chicks, because he's on a break from his girlfriend. Mark finally heals, and even Thaddeus realizes that there's a traitor, and he wants to know exactly what he told Thrag. And he was like, they're all coming here. There's no way you're going to survive this. And finally, the cavalry arrives. So now there's hope that they might be able to survive this. And what is decided, oh my gosh, it's just so badass. What is decided by Thaddeus is to take the fight to planet Viltrum. And this is when it gets awesome, because I didn't see this coming. Everybody gets involved. All the big dogs get involved here. Alan, I mean, they're kicking the crap out of Viltrumites. Poor Oliver, I thought he was dead. I was like, oh my gosh, Oliver, no, I actually liked him. Kind of in a Jason Todd type of way. I ended up really enjoying him. And then we get this badass moment when it is decided that they only have one chance to survive all this. Thaddeus, Nolan, and Mark just fly as fast as they can to the like to the planet Viltrum, and at first you're thinking, oh, they're going to destroy their headquarters. No, they fly through the planet and it blows up, destroying the entire planet Viltrum. And the Viltrumites, some of them end up dying, of course, so there's not that many left, and Thrag just snaps. He can't believe that they would do something like this and rips the head off of Thaddeus for revenge, of course, for what had previously happened and destroying the planet. Mark is worried about his brother Oliver, and this is just so badass. This giant fight now between what's left of the Viltrumites and the coalition of planets. And honestly, there's a couple of moments here that you don't see coming. Like, you think, okay, some of these characters are going to die, some of them are obviously going to heal, and everything's going to be fine. But what ends up happening, because this is Robert Kirkman again, with a few twists and turns, is that they end up leaving the fight. Thrag ends up leaving them because he doesn't really want to kill them, because he feels like it's killing Viltrumites, and he needs as many because there's not that many left. So Mark heals, and Alan is here explaining what's happened to him in the couple of weeks that he has been just knocked out. And he finds out that the Viltrumites are heading to Earth, so he starts having all these daydreams about, Adam Eve getting killed by the leftover Viltrumites. Alan and Telia, his wife, are discussing something horrible that Alan may have to do. So Mark, Tech Jacket, and his father, Alan, decide to head to Earth because they fear that Thrag and the rest of the Viltrumites have taken over. And as it turns out, Thrag comes here and gives him some terms. He doesn't want to fight, but what he wants to do is he sees how powerful Mark has become, so he knows that the Viltrumites can breed with humans and their offsprings will be this really powerful hybrid. So he says, we will go into hiding. We will expand the empire in thousands of years whenever the offsprings are ready, so our children's 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 children might be able to have an empire of their own, and they won't be bothered, just like they won't bother any of the Earthlings. And this is the terms that he wants, and he's like, I need a yes or no now. And of course Nolan is like, Mark, you can't decide. And Mark's like, no, hell no. And then, of course, the answer is yes when he sits and thinks about just how much destruction they can do. So for the rest of the volume, it becomes really interesting because now Mark knows the Viltrumites are out there living with other Earthlings. He's been gone for 10 months, and Eve has just gone through some horrible things that you'll find out. I said I was going to talk about spoilers, but I'd rather people find out for that one for themselves, because it's such a heartbreaking story that she reveals to him. And Nolan here tries to reconnect with Debbie, and this time around, she forgives him as much as she hates herself. I love this part right here where he reunites with William, and to throw back to those first couple of issues. And what Alan has been in such turmoil about is that vial actually holds the Scourge virus. And the Scourge virus can get rid of all of the Viltrumites. It happened in the past, and that was Thaddeus' gift to Alan, telling him that no matter, how on friendly terms you are with the Viltrumites, you have to get rid of them. So he's worried that he has to expose it to Earth, and some humans may end up dying, including some of his Viltrumite or half-Viltrumite friends. Mark goes back to his classic costume here. I guess he doesn't like the whole full gloves. He goes and visits some friends, right, from the Guardians of the Globe. And Dinosaurus comes back. And man, he comes back with a vengeance, blowing up Vegas. But there is a plan to kind of restore it. And it goes into territories, like I said, that's why I love this book, that you never know where it's going to go. Finally, we get Robot and the story of Monster Girl, and when they went missing. We get that full story through here, how they fell in love, and how they ended up with a child, too, when that child comes back and tries to take over Earth. There is a lot of twists and turns that happen through this particular volume. But the Viltrumite War is my all-time favorite story out of Invincible. I just love how badass Mark gets, and you get a small taste of what is to come later on. I do love Debbie and Nolan together again. And it seems like everybody's doing, better. happier. Everybody's healing. Because as you know, the Viltrumites have a fast healing factor. Not as, well, no, I guess faster than Wolverine. So Alan decides to tell Nolan that he is going to take that vial of the Scourge virus to Earth. And Nolan's like, no, you can't do that. So him and Oliver try to stop him. However, Oliver ends up siding with Alan. And Nolan is like, I gotta tell somebody. So he goes and tells Debbie, who immediately blames him, saying, oh, now you're betraying Alan. You're turning on everybody like you did the Guardians of the Globe. You're a villain. And he's like, no, no, no. Alan is going to Earth and he's going to kill all the Viltrumites there. But he's going to poison all the humans too. We gotta stop him. Of course, who else is on Earth is Mark. And there's no way in hell Mark is going to let him poison Earth, no matter how many Viltrumites he's going to kill. So there's a big fight between him and his friend Alan. Alan's trying to do the right thing, so it causes this fight between brother and brother and Alan. And Thrag, of all people, comes to Mark's side and tells Alan that he's got him. However, because we're talking about these type of fights, Mark tries to stop his brother and ends up taking the whole virus in the face. But because he's a hybrid, he's half human and half Viltrumite, he is okay until the end of the issue where Alan realizes, oh my god, he has the virus, what are we going to do? So that's where the cover of Bulletproof, I didn't spoil who it was, but that's where this comes from. We needed Invincible here on Earth, so the young man that was Bulletproof, this is a backstory to how he got the Bulletproof costume, because remember, that was the original Invincible costume, ends up with the Invincible costume when Adam Eve approaches him and decides that we do need an Invincible here on Earth. Thrag realizes something really important about Mark through these issues too. So important, I don't want to spoil that part because there's a couple things I want people to be excited about. So important that he tries to kill him, but Dinosaurus, because he made a pact with Mark, tries to stop him. Look at that, just amazing art. That looks so painful. He cracks his jaw like that. Of course, he can't remember anything when he's human, so he doesn't know why exactly Thrag was trying to kill him. So you get more development between Robot and Monster Girl, and also the development between Dinosaurus and Mark. But I love this. I love the connection between Eve and Mark. I think it's so wonderful. And just look at just how many spread pages there are, where we have a new Invincible now, and the Guardians of the Globe are back. But how long is it going to be before one of the Viltrumites ends up going AWOL against Thrag's decision and tries to take over the planet? Well, that answer may come in the next volume, and that is Volume 5, which was due out this month, but I do believe it has been delayed until April. Well, I am recording this in March, so it might already be out by the time you're watching this video. I like to be way ahead with my videos. So the story ends, or the particular volume ends here, with everybody making amends with each other, and then the big revelation as to why Monster Girl felt betrayed by Robot. And damn, there's a lot of dark parts to this particular volume. But yeah, I just wanted to geek out about my favorite Invincible story, and people have asked me what I thought. This is my favorite one. This whole volume gets a 10 out of 10. It is freaking phenomenal. Cory Walker comes back. Ryan Ottley's artwork. The colors are just amazing, especially whenever you're looking at all the violence. Comics like this just remind me why I love comics. Yes, it's violent. So if you can't stand over the top violence, this book is not for you. But damn, do I love it. That, as they say, is that. If you're interested in purchasing this complete library volume, please don't forget to check out our sponsors.
If you're in Europe and you're interested in buying these books, definitely check out Walt's Comic Shop in Berlin, Germany. They have the cheapest pre-order prices, flat shipping rate of €12 for all EU countries, emails answered within 24 hours, waltscomicshop.com, and you can use the code nearmintcondition at checkout and get free shipping for all EU countries with your first order over €40. That's Walt's Comic Shop, your reliable source for omnis and premium collected editions in Europe. Ding!
CheapGraphicNovels.com, your online home for graphic novels and collected editions up to 50% off cover price. They have excellent shipping and prompt and helpful service. Check out their bargain deals for up to 90% off cover price. And don't forget, the CGN also takes pre-orders. That way you don't miss out on the hottest releases. And they are currently running a special promotion for you Minties. If you're a first-time customer, after receiving your order confirmation email, reply back to that email and let them know Near Mint Condition sent you their way. They will then apply a free shipping promotional credit to your next order in the US. Cheap Graphic Novels, your source for the hottest books with the kind of deep discount, quality shipping, and customer service that will keep you coming back for more. And that was the content, the page count, and build of this library edition. Let me know in the comments down below if you are picking up Invincible in this format, if you have the Ultimate Collections, if you have the trade paperbacks, or if you've never read it and you want to. Why'd you watch the whole spoiler thing? Some people don't care about spoilers. I get it. If you're watching the show and that's what brought you to this video and the channel, let me know all that in the comments down below. Don't forget to smash that like button on the way out. Check us out on Patreon and Spreadshop. Amazing ways to support the channel if you can do so. Everyone stay healthy and safe out there. Much love.